Hi guys, Squirrel here, and welcome to my preview of Planet Coaster. Now, Planet Coaster is a game that was available for pre-order in summer 2015. I actually pre-ordered this game. However, recently Frontier Developments, who make the game, invited me down to a special recording session, which I went to, and the footage you're now seeing is footage that I recorded at that session. Now, unfortunately, because of the problems with the capturing, VSync wasn't possible, so you may see some screen tearing. However, don't focus on that. Focus on what you're seeing. I was going to tell you about the game. The game is available as of, I think, tomorrow, which is March the 22nd. You can still pre-order it, I think, until then on the planetcoaster.com website. It was kind of run a bit like a Kickstarter campaign in that there are different levels that you can unlock depending on how much you fund it. However, it wasn't a Kickstarter because it was already funded as a game. Now, what is it? What is Planet Coaster? Well, Planet Coaster is a roller coaster building theme park management sim. Frontier have made some pretty cool games. They made Elite Dangerous. They also made Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 and Zoo Tycoon. Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 is a game that I've played quite a bit of, and I've streamed it, tail end of last year, streamed it quite a bit. It never gets old. It's such a fun game. I love games like this, kind of simulation type games where you get to build rides and then you not only get to watch people ride them, but you get to sit inside the cab and go first person around your insane creation. I absolutely love stuff like this. It's great fun. But in this game, this is an alpha at the moment, so they're going to kind of release this the same way that they did with Elite Dangerous. It's going to go through an alpha stage, then it's going to go through a beta stage, and then the final release is expected, I think, at the end of 2016. At the moment in the alpha stage, they've already given you some of the basic design tools. The idea is to give you fantastic design tools, like the freedom that you've never really had when it's come to games like Rollercoaster Tycoon, in that you can not only take components and assemble them together into a separate building, but you can also take prefabricated buildings, and then, for example, you can drop stores inside the buildings and then add lights on the outside or add signs. You can decorate it and build it into something else. You can clone things. You can take one object and clone it and put it somewhere else in your park. The idea is to have a library of not only pieces that you can assemble things with, but also a library of pre-built structures that you can then share with the rest of the world. Anybody that plays this game is connected via the back end so that you'll be able to share things with each other and incorporate them into your park. Now, in the alpha version, there are crowds of people. What's interesting and unique about this Planet Coaster experience in terms of the crowds is that if you notice, they actually cluster together, a bit like you see in a theme park. There are families going around. There's a dad, there's a mom, there's some kids. The kids are running around, skipping about, and the dad's kind of looking all sensible, but really secretly enjoying himself. And the crowds kind of flow around each other and flow around your objects, so they don't just pass through each other. Everything kind of feels more realistic. At the moment, they've not modeled any of the crowd reactions. You can't click on them, see what they're thinking about. You can't see how much money they have left, if they're happy, if they're sad. You can see if they've bought, a balloon from your balloon shop. That kind of stuff is in there. But like I say, it's an alpha. It is going to be built on as the year progresses. As well as being able to assemble buildings out of components, you can also lay down paths. So you've got quite a lot of flexibility in the way you lay paths. It's not grid-based in any way like you might have seen in previous games like this. Feel free to create bendy kind of pathways, curved pathways. You can also drop down animated components. So there's like an animated tentacle which you can put down and then you can raise or lower it. You can have it so that like the machinery of the animated tentacle, the machinery is hidden beneath the ground and then just surround it by bushes. And then this thing will look like it just kind of comes out of the bushes and scares the people. At the moment, the crowds will walk past it and they don't kind of react to it. But when I asked the producer, will that be the case? They said, yeah, the plan is that, if you put these things in the park, then the crowds will react to what they see, which kind of is all of the fun. So if you put them on a ride, for example, if you've got a roller coaster or something, and you go around the coaster first person or look back at them, you can see that they're reacting to what they're doing. However, there's no audio. You can't hear them screaming. You can't hear them laughing and giggling and cheering. There's none of that in there just yet. But you can nevertheless see that the animation and the reaction on the face is pretty cool. At the moment, I think the plan for the initial alpha release was that you wouldn't be able to build roller coasters. However, I think they might be releasing that. I'm not sure. They're getting very close to allowing you to just build your own coaster. And I think they... that if that's not out in the initial alpha release, it'll certainly come very soon after. There are no water rides as such. There's nothing in here that allows water yet. Again, that's something that's planned for later in the year, I think. There's no land sculpting, there's no terraforming, but again, that's coming soon. It's already in the game, but it's not available for us to use yet. They themselves have used it to sculpt things. There are parts of the world that you will see that they've extracted the ground out and sculpted it into like almost like a monster kind of structure, and then you can texturize it. You can texturize it with rock or grass or sand, depending on the look you're going for. There are day-night cycles, but I don't think there are weather systems currently. Again, a lot of stuff is planned. There are entertainers in there, so you can see entertainers running around. They will generally entertain the crowds and that kind of thing. I don't think there's information booths in there to direct people to where your rides are. Didn't see any janitors or security or repairmen. These are the kind of things that I'm looking back at, say, Rollercoaster Tycoon 3. They're kind of stock things that you have because, your crowds will go around and break your rides. You'll need repairmen to come in and fix the rides. They'll also sort of vandalize the park, and you need security to stop that. And then inevitably, if you put them on a ride that is a little bit too exciting, they'll get off the ride and throw up right outside the burger stand, which stops people from buying burgers. All of this is part of the fun of these kind of games, but I didn't see any of that currently. There are just crowds, they wander in, there's no money modelled. It's very, very sandboxy in the alpha state that it's at. But this game, trust me, I think this game is going to be amazing when it's done. The physics on the rides are actually done really well. If you actually look at a ride, you can get a sense of the weight of it. You can feel the weight of the ride as it swings and turns, particularly on the coaster. As it reaches its peak, you can almost feel it kind of pushing over, and then it hangs it's on its downslope, and then the momentum just kicks in and pushes it around. And on the pirate ship, you can really feel the oscillation of the ship and the weight of it. Fantastic physics modelling. That's that, really. That's pretty much where we are with the Planet Coaster Alpha at the moment. Like I say, you can go and pre-order it. You can just go and buy the actual game when it releases, or you can buy into the beta, or even in the alpha release. There's even sort of access points where you can pay enough money, you can get yourself as an NPC in the game, and that NPC will then appear in other people's parks. And if you pay enough money, I think you can even get your name written on the outside of everybody's theme park, which is quite cool if you've got the cash. Well, that's it for that kind of preview of Planet Coaster. As the game develops through the year, I'll definitely be making videos and streams on this thing. It's so much fun. I can't wait to see where this game goes. That's it from this preview build. Until the next time, guys, take care.